Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Some countries or some people living in those two particular countries don't want American troops within their country, their territory. I wonder why. Obviously, the answer is they are sponsored by evil Iran. Therefore, they attack the poor American troops in those countries who are protecting us here. How's that? Thousands of miles away from the location. So I'm talking about Syria and Iraq. The US military bases were again attacked in those two countries. Iraq, that we brought freedom and democracy, and this is how we're paid for doing that. But hey, we know it's not the Iraqis. The Iraqis want us there, us. The military controlled by the guys over there, okay? Not us. And the Syrians don't want the military as well because they are illegally occupying their territory. The key word is illegally. Okay, so I have an article here from Fox News, and they will report on a new attack on the US bases over there. It seems like it happens regularly, like a target practice session, but it's okay. It seems like we need to be over there to help our ally or whatever. You know how the garbage goes. Fox News. US military bases in Iraq, Syria attacked again, bringing total to at least 90 since October 17th. Why October 17th? Because it was October 7th, and then the Israel's defense ministry started its response to the attack on its territory. So here we have 90 attacks, at least 90 attacks. That's the payback? They make the connection, not I. The attacks have been claimed by an umbrella group of, brace yourselves, Iran-backed Iraqi militants, dubbed the Islamic resistance in Iraq. Isn't it strange that these guys are capable of providing us with such details, information about these guys? It's Iran-backed. It's they're claimed by those guys who is this name. We do it, destroy us, but we do it because we want popularity. They have this information so fast, but they don't have information from their country here when something happens, right? They don't bullshit me. Senior US defense officials told Fox News there have been 2 new attacks on US bases in Iraq and Syria. What do you mean? There have been 2. Oh, I thought you might have been 2. At Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq, a one-way attack drone was shot down near the base. No injuries or damage were reported. I think that's a sign. At patrol base Al-Shadati in Syria, there was a multi-rocket attack, though no injuries or damage were reported to infrastructure. My problem is this. I have many problems, as you can tell, but one of them is this. I'm pretty sure our brave soldiers deployed over there, they think they are actually doing a good thing. And when they're going to come back from deployment, if they come alive, and I hope they do, they will, tell stories how they defended us and our freedom and so on. Sorry to break the news, I doubt that's true. But we'll find out with time. Hey, we don't have to, because we already know that the deployment of the troops, about 900 in Syria, that is an illegal deployment. And if you agree with that, that means you're not just. Why? Because that means if you agree with that, then you should agree with another country deploying on your territory troops fighting their war on terrorism. Let's say India. India might deploy a few, 3,000 troops wherever they want in the United States of America because they have a problem with the Sheikhs, some extremists. They are labeled, right? They want to break India apart. So for them, that's a national security threat. Therefore, they will fight against terrorism in the United States of America, where, according to the CIA, they tried to, CIA or FBI, which one was it? Doesn't really matter. US authorities, weasel, tried to kill a Sheikh here, and they did in Canada, we're told. Well, what do you want? I mean, actually, right? If these guys are allowed to have troops over there to fight their war on terrorism, whatever they label as terrorists, the other ones have the same right to do the same thing on your territory. If not, no reciprocity, no equality, equal representation in front of the law. That means you're not just. Oh, hey, I got something more for you. You know, the Ukrainians are assassinating whomever they decide to label as a traitor or collaborator in Russia or wherever they want. So that means the same thing. Wouldn't that be equally fair to say that Indians could do the same thing to a sheikh or something like this based on the same logic? I'm not supporting that, but if the Ukrainians can do that for someone, regardless if they're at war or not, they label that person a collaborationist. Remember the traitor, the guy that was shot in Moscow region lately, 3 days ago, 4 days, and they show a picture with him face down in the snow, and they're all dancing about it. They are celebrating. How about the Indians celebrating, let's say, this and that and that? Would that be acceptable? And then why not? Oh, because they are good and the other ones are bad, and India is not good or not as good as we are. Oh, got it now. So let's see what these guys are saying here. The latest round of attacks brings the total number of attacks at least 90 since October 17th, which was the less than 2 weeks into Israel's war with the group Hamas, a country with a group. So it was October, November, December, so we're 2 months and a half almost in this thing over there, and they cannot destroy a group. Well, maybe it's something else. So let's see. The attack has been claimed by an umbrella Iraqi militants dubbed the Islamic resistance in Iraq. The militants say their attacks are in retaliation for Washington's backing of Israel and its military presence in Iraq and Syria. All right, well, they don't speak for all the people in the area, but shouldn't that give you a clue, a hint that you... No? Okay, well, you don't break under that pressure, but somehow you break under the pressure of some stupid idiot, how do you call it, mostly peaceful protests in Minnesota or Minneapolis and whatever. Yeah, okay, that's garbage. Now let's see how many troops these guys have over there. Iran holds considerable sway in Iraq, and how come? I thought you brought freedom and democracy. Wasn't that a success now, you're telling me? And a coalition of Iran-backed groups brought Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Saudani to power in October 2022 through a democratic system brought by the United States of America. And this guy met with the Iranians, met with the Turks, met with Putin. He went over there in Moscow for, I can't remember what kind of summit it was, right? Right. At the same time, there are some 2,000 US troops in Iraq under an agreement with Baghdad. So they're over there legally. Why? Because they're under agreement with the legitimate political entity of Iraq, right? Correct. But they are not in Syria. So how do you put this together? Mainly to counter the militant Islamic State group. So you're telling me that you have 2,000 US troops and Iraq doesn't have 2,000 troops that would be able to do the same thing you guys are doing? Oh yeah, okay. Didn't you train them? Didn't you have, did you give them military and all the, no? Okay, so you keep them as the same they were? Huh? That's why you keep them? All right. So it doesn't make sense here, does it? You keep 2,000 troops. I think you keep the 2,000 troops as a shock intervention group, which is if the government does something you don't like, or some people threaten the government in a certain way, you just go around it and you protect whomever boy you got in place. That's why they are over there, not to fight insurgency, no, to make sure that Iraq doesn't go the way it might want to go, and it doesn't go the way they want Iraq to go. Because I keep making this mistake saying that we, but it's not we. It's we or here, the idiots that will fight among one another because they help us do this with their mass media and with their education system. Or because they have a long nose, you got whatever, you don't have this, you have that. And then we fight here, and then over there they use our taxes and our energy to produce something for them to use somewhere else, the military, for those interests that have the political system, the politicians, they have the mass media, and the military, obviously. And we are the producers. We are in the matrix. We are the energy they get to finance and to promote their interest. We're just the garbage. That's all we are. Okay, Baghdad relies heavily on Washington's sanctions waivers to buy electricity from Iran. So Iraq buys electricity from Iraq. And since the 2003 U.S. invasion, Iraq forces foreign currency reserves have been housed at the U.S. Federal Reserve. Oh. Did you hear that? Let me show you. Since the 2003 U.S. invasion, Iraqi foreign currency reserves have been housed at the U.S. Federal Reserve, giving the Americans significant control over Iraq's supply of dollars. Ya think? Oh my God. And you tell me these guys are free? They brought freedom, that kind of freedom? So who's in charge? The U.S. and much of the international community, meanwhile, have scrambled to prevent the war in the besieged Gaza Strip from expanding across the region. No, it's not the United States and the international community. It is the United States that protects someone to finish the job, and and keeps everybody at bay with veto in the United Nations, being within the 9 countries that voted against yesterday I covered that in a video, the United Nations General Assembly resolution to stop the war in Gaza, to have a ceasefire. United States with Palau, Micronesia, Papua New Guinea, Austria, and I think was another, about 9, there were 9, and then we have 149 that voted for the resolution, 149, and there were 25 abstained. So 149, it was 22 abstained and 9 that were against. The United States was one of the 9. So they didn't scramble to prevent the war. They wanted to make sure these guys are finishing up however they want it, and then after they're done, they're gonna come zipping up their pants and say, "Okay, now I'm done." Well, United States, what do you want me to do? Like they listen to the United States of America, giving them, legitimacy. Instead of coming and say, "Hey, Russia, well, now what do you want me to do?" No, he goes and says, United States intervenes. Yes, I think you should stop. And everybody's, "Oh my God, see, United States intervened and stopped everything." Yeah, bull fucking shit. They keep these guys, do it. We're going to block everything. We brought over there the rapid intervention forces in the Eastern Mediterranean. Everybody is kept like this. Nobody moves. And nobody moves. Good for them in a certain extent. Otherwise, we're going to have a big end of the world, I think. Because Iran is the prize, not Hamas. It's Hamas. All right? They're going to keep like this. United Nations veto against blah, 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 blah. And that's it. And they are putting much of the international community. No, the international community scrambled to prevent the war, but the United States of America did not. I mean, is trying to prevent those guys attacking this guy, making sure that whatever is in Gaza, which is just a whatever. So here you have it. Let's see if they talk about the 700. No, the 900. I'm sorry. They talk about Iran and garbage. Not a peek in the whole article. Let me show you. So we like to build right legitimacy, like the United States of America. See, I go down on this. There's nothing about, and there's the article gone. So nothing about the 900 troops located illegally in Syria. Remember, they said that they are over there by with a permission, right? But they said the housed. No, they're over there because of the agreement, 2,000 troops in Iraq under an agreement with Baghdad, mainly to counter. So that's an agreement. Yes, when you have an agreement with the legitimate government, yes, you are entitled. You're legally over there. So 2,000 U.S. troops in Iraq are legally deployed over there. They are not, because they mentioned that, but they don't mention Syria, where there are 900 troops at least deployed in the northeast region where Syria has its oil. When they're sucking the oil over there, that's illegal. Assad did not call them Assad the legitimate leader of Syria, the government. of Syria never called them, and they just dropped over there and never left illegally. Occupation. So when I talk about Ukraine's right for the sovereign country and independent, yeah, that's true. But I think the same is true for Syria, isn't it? I guess our values and policies and justice and rules are, preferential and situational. That tells you what kind of Al Capone you got here. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.